Fulton County made a stunning admission about the 2020 election. After almost 5 years of assuring voters all procedures were followed, it turns out that may not be entirely true.
America, with Christmas around the corner, we just got the biggest vindication in modern political history. Fulton County, the same county that tried to prosecute Trump for questioning the 2020 election, just admitted in court that they illegally properly certified 315,000 votes without proper verification. Let me say that again, 315,000 illegal votes in a state that Biden supposedly won by 11,779.
Come on, man.
But here's the kicker. Trump said that exact thing on a phone call they tried to throw him in jail for. And now they're admitting he was right all along.
Evidence of a poll worker named Ruby Freeman running the same stack of ballots through the counting machines multiple times. Ironically, Ruby Freeman was later given the Presidential Citizens Medal by Joe Biden for her work during the 2020 election.
What is up, guys? TYSON DELACRUZ here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. You know why the mainstream media is hiding this story? Because it destroys their entire narrative. They spent 4 years calling us conspiracy theorists, censoring us on social media, and prosecuting Trump for telling the actual truth. Now, my friends, the truth is coming out and the lamestream media can't handle it. Let me break down what happened in a Georgia State Election Board hearing on December 9th. An attorney representing Fulton County Election Board stood up and made a stunning admission.
The tapes that are an issue in this case have been produced. They just weren't signed.
The ticker tapes she's talking about, shown here, are almost like receipts.
State law requires poll workers to sign them and verify the counts that are actually accurate. It's basically election security 101. Without those signatures, those votes should have never been counted.
Some 150 tapes tracking the votes of some 315,000 people during early voting in 2020 weren't signed.
We're talking about 150 tabulator tapes covering 315,000 votes during the early voting process of 2020. That's not a clerical error, you guys. That's not 1 or 2 mistakes. That's 36 out of 37 advanced voting precincts in Fulton County failing to follow the freaking law. Remember, you guys, Biden won Georgia by 11,779 votes, but we just found out that 315,000 votes were illegally certified. Even if only a fraction of those votes were problematic, that's more than enough to flip the entire state. Now, let me take you guys back to that phone call, the one they tried to prosecute Trump over, the one where Fannie Willis indicted him, the one that the media called election interference.
In Fulton, where they dumped ballots, you will find that you have many that aren't even signed, and you have many that are forgeries, okay? You know that. You know that. You have no doubt about that. And you will be at 11,779 within minutes, because Fulton County is totally corrupt, and so is she totally corrupt.
We knew it. He was right.
At best, this is sloppy and it's lazy. At worst, it could be egregious, and it could have affected an election.
But instead of investigating Trump's claims, they tried to throw him in prison for making them. They called us conspiracy theorists. They censored everybody on social media. They told us we were threats to democracy for asking simple freaking questions. And now all of a sudden they're admitting everything Trump said was true, but they still want to punish him for being right. My friends, this is not justice. That is political prosecution.
I took an oath to do the right thing. People came into my community and committed a crime, and I indicted them. And rest assured, if someone else comes in my community and commits a crime, I will indict them again.
Listen to Fannie Willis defending her decision to prosecute Trump. What crime? What crime, Fannie Willis? Telling the truth? Because that's what Trump did. He said Fulton County illegally certified votes without proper verification, and now your own county attorney is admitting that he was right. But it gets worse. This wasn't just unsigned tapes. The investigation found that officials at 32 polling sites failed to verify their zero tapes.
Some other ticker tapes and documents tied to the 2020 election were also missing, the county said. The revelation made waves nationally. Even Elon Musk posted about it.
Documents are missing, pages are blank, zero tapes aren't verified. This is a systematic breakdown of election integrity, and they tried to prosecute anybody who questioned it.
You all have been trying to intimidate me for 5 years, which is why I have not been able to live in my house for 5 years, because the N-word has been written on my house.
Fannie Willis claims she's been intimidated for 5 years. You know what's actually intimidating? Using the power of the state to prosecute people for telling the truth. Using your office to go after political opponents while covering up election integrities in your own county. Fannie Willis wants to play the victim while she's the one wielding the power of the prosecution against the people who were right all along. Now let me address the Republicans who told us to move on and accept the results. Brian Kemp, the Republican governor of Georgia, certified these results. Brad Raffensperger, the Republican Secretary of State, defended them.
Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger assured it wouldn't have altered the results of the election that was audited and verified several times over.
Brad posted online, a clerical error at the end of the day does not erase valid legal votes. A clerical error. One unsigned tape is a clerical error. One missing document is a clerical error. But 148 missing tabular tapes covering 315,000 votes, that, my friends, is not a clerical error. That's systematic fraud or incompetence so severe it amounts to the same thing. These Republicans had the power to investigate. They chose not to. They were more concerned about being liked by the media than protecting election integrity. They threw Trump under the bus to save their own political careers.
I think about my friends who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars defending themselves against these politically motivated charges, and that's the witch hunt.
Where were you 3 years ago when this could have been investigated properly? Now here's where it gets really interesting. The Trump administration's Justice Department just filed a lawsuit against Fulton County demanding all ballots and election results from 2020.
The Justice Department filed a federal lawsuit against Fulton County demanding ballots and election records from the 2020 presidential race. The DOJ says the county failed to comply with a federal subpoena, but Fulton officials say some of the materials are sealed.
Sorry, those records are sealed. We can't give them to you. What a bunch of baloney.
Everything that we have been legally required to provide, Fulton County has provided, and we will continue to obey the law. Again, the problem in this case is what they're asking for. We don't have access to that information, nor does the clerk, because once again, it's under what's called a court order sealed by the court, and there's a process that they'll have to go through to have access, to get access, to gain access to those documents. And when that happens, they can have anything they want to have.
Let me ask you something. If everything was legitimate, why are they fighting so hard to keep records hidden? If there was nothing to hide, wouldn't they just want to prove their innocence? But instead, they're lawyering up and claiming they don't have access to their own election records.
The DOJ says this is part of broader efforts to secure election data. It has sued 18 states for voter list.
18 states where the same clerical errors somehow all benefited the same candidate. You're telling me this. Ain't nobody in the world believes that Biden got more votes than Obama.
Come on, man.
Even Stevie Wonder can see what's going on here. The Georgia State Election Board voted to refer this to the Attorney General for a $5,000 fine per missing signature. That's it. A fine that taxpayers will end up paying. No arrest, no criminal charges, no real accountability. Meanwhile, they're still trying to prosecute Trump for questioning the very irregularities they just admitted happened. Think about that for a second. They're admitting he was right, but they still want to punish him for being right. This is what happens when you have a two-tier justice system. Democrats can break election laws and get a fine. Trump can tell the truth about Democrats breaking election laws, and he faces criminal prosecution. America, they spent 4 years gaslighting us. 4 years telling us we're crazy for questioning the 2020 election. 4 years censoring anyone who dared to ask for transparency. 4 years prosecuting Trump for demanding election integrity. Now, all of a sudden, Fulton County admits they illegally certified 315,000 votes in a state decided by 11,000 votes. Now they admit Trump was right about unsigned ballots and corrupt practices. Now they admit the conspiracy conspiracy theorists were telling the truth all along. But here's what won't happen. No apologies from the media, no accountability for the prosecutors, no consequences for the officials who broke the law. They'll pay some bogus fines with taxpayer money and move on like nothing happened. Meanwhile, Trump's DOJ is investigating 18 states with similar fraud. The dam, my friends, is breaking. The truth is coming out, and every single person who called us conspiracy theorists owes us a freaking apology that they'll never give. The 2020 election wasn't the quote-unquote most secure election in history. It was the most corrupt. And now the people who ran it are admitting it. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.